Another tragic night in America. Let's take you to our correspondent there, Toni Waterman. Toni, good evening to you. Well, good evening our time. What is the public expecting to see in this video, and how is the city preparing for what are likely to be mass protests?
Well, we're expecting that we're going to see a grotesque amount of violence. Anybody that has seen the video so far has described it as absolutely appalling, as reckless, as inhumane. You just saw the photos there for yourself, the images of what Tyre Nichols looked like after this, what was supposed to be more of a routine traffic stop. So that is what we are expecting. The lawyers, as you heard there, saying that he was kicked like he was a piñata. One thing that we are not expecting to see is the reckless driving that allegedly led to him being pulled over in the first place. The Memphis police chief was on CNN earlier today and said that they have not been able to substantiate those claims that he was driving recklessly, and that is what led to him being pulled over. The family of Tyre Nichols is holding a press conference right now. They have been very adamant that when this video is released in about 7 hours' time, they are calling for the public to remain calm, to protest, but protest peacefully. And I just want to show you here right now what's happening. We are seeing ahead of this video release that there is an increased police presence here on the ground. We can see some police officers right now on horseback going around the courthouse here. And we've seen this across the city right now. We're seeing an increased police presence in preparation for this video coming out later today. We have also had the local schools shutting down early. They're not having any sort of after-school activities because the police want people in the community to be home and be home safely before this video is released.
What's interesting, Toni, is, this incident is not isolated. It comes on the back of, a series, a litany of complaints against police in terms of police brutality, violence perpetrated by the officers in blue that are meant to be there for the protection of the public. And you also have a series, an archive of laws around police brutality. Yet these events keep happening, and it seems with each new event, just unbelievably new levels of violence that police are displaying. How does that feed into the expectations for the frustration that the public will likely, sort of play out tonight when this video is released?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. George Floyd, Breonna Taylor. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on of black individuals in the United States that have died at the hands of police officers. And this really does feed into the situation here. I was just speaking to some young black gentlemen here on the ground. They've lived in Memphis their entire life, and they said to me that there is deep-seated corruption within the police force here in Memphis. And they're actually expecting that there is going to be violence when people take to the streets later this afternoon. We're hearing that they could be out as early as 4 o'clock, so even 2 hours before this video is released. The police have said at this point that they have no indication that this is going to turn violent, but we have seen in the past that situations like this can get out of hand. And one concern is that perhaps residents of Memphis aren't the ones who are going to get out of hand potentially, but you could get an influx of people from surrounding cities, from surrounding states that are here that don't have those ties to the community and may go after businesses or cause destruction or start rioting. The police, again, the presence is being beefed up. They are trying to control this, and they really have tried in the past couple of days to get out ahead of any potential violence. They have talked very openly, very transparently about the violence that is contained in this video. They have not shied away from it. And they have also, quite importantly here, charged these now former officers, all 5 of them, ahead of the video's release. So they're showing to the public that there is going to be accountability here. Just one of those charges that they are all facing, the second-degree murder charge, in and of itself carries up to a 60-year prison sentence. So these officers are potentially facing decades behind bars. And important to note here that 2 of the first responders to this scene have also been let go from their jobs. There's no charges against these individuals yet. They have not been named. But this is an even further step that officials here in Memphis are taking in terms of accountability to go after these first responders, see what their role in this was. Why didn't they administer that aid that he so desperately needed sooner?
Certainly a lot of questions to ask of those first responders, and a night and a city on a knife edge, as you're hearing there from Toni Waterman, our SABC news correspondent, live for us there from Memphis. And we'll keep you updated on those developments, particularly as you heard Toni say there. It is a night also of great uncertainty in the aftermath of this screening of this video, which is expected to happen imminently.